Hello my friends, this is FC7 and today I'm going to share an Orcs Must Die 3 video, my first one in almost a year. I believe this is the first one that I'm sharing that I have on the PlayStation 4 version. My other ones were on Stadia. This one is going to be version 1.01. I like to call it the pre-nerf version. Right now the PlayStation and I think all the consoles have updated to 1.02, but this is the version that I prefer to play, and I'm not updating. So, my trap lineup for this particular map is the Blunderbuss, the Stone Staff pre-nerf version, the Windbelt, Rage Trinket, the Spike Trap, the Snow Cannon, Ceiling Lasers, the Barricades, Tar Trap, and the Trap Reset Trinket. So this is the second Master's Courtyard that I'm uploading to my channel. The other one was the Stadia version on War Mage difficulty. It was a 5 skull. This one I will be using Max, and it will be a 5 skull of Riftlord. And I had some swapping out to do at the beginning here. I pretty much am using the same lineup that I did for War Mage with a couple of changes. The Stadia version did not have the ceiling lasers at all, so I'm using those. And in the original War Mage recording, I was using the Ice Amulet a lot, but since the Stone Staff came out and I realized how powerful it was, I definitely switched to the Stone Staff, so that's a difference as well. Also, the Snow Cannon was not in the original Stadia release, which I'm going to be using. So we'll just get this set up and get ready to actually start the event here. So what I usually do is put the ceiling lasers up here for the first wave and block the other edge the other way with barricades.
To breach one of our gates. The door is down. Having no head does make it easier to get through doors.
Again, the Stone Staff is very powerful. So we'll just use that right away.
This is so easy.
A Fire Lord. Wow.
So you can kind of see the reason why they nerfed the Stone Staff, because I am pretty much keeping these guys at a standstill. So now I'll try to sell as many of these traps as possible because I don't need them for this next wave coming up. But I'll definitely want to barricade these barricades, because the choke point is going to be right over here, just like with my other video for War Mage. So we'll get as many of these guys as possible. And I'll definitely come over to my choke point here and defend it.
There are
Watch out for
enemies
the
in our
runners.
rift room.
And always keep your eyes on the time. There is a really good strategy that I learned online, just playing with different people, but I could never 5 skull this playing in co-op because the time limit would just run out. We would do really good, but there was just no time to get this done. This is the fastest way I found to do it, just creating the choke point here. Okay, on to the next wave, and I'm going to place some more barricades here. Put some tar down so that the runners don't get by. And the spike traps, I just have those in my lineup because they're so cheap. You can put a lot down. So we'll just get these guys. So we'll just defend the choke point here, wait for some more coin to put some more barricades up, because I want this whole area barricaded. And one of the problems with new versions of the game is the stone staff. When they nerfed it, it now has some kind of knockback, so when the stone wears off, the mobs go flying everywhere. So it's one of the reasons I didn't upgrade to the newest version, the newest patch. On Stadia, if you're a Stadia owner, you don't have a choice whether you can upgrade or choose not to upgrade or not.
More enemies on the way.
So what I'm going to do is place some snow cannons up here because I believe they can reach.
This never gets old.
So the snow cannons can actually reach down to the choke point here with their spray, and I have it set to the acid, so it's not actually going to freeze them. I don't know if you can see it coming up. There you go. If you can see in the background there. So once I get the barricade set up along my left hand side here, I'm going to try to double barricade, because if you see that fire orc, if it explodes, it might damage the barricade. So it helps to have a double set.
I don't think so.
So again, they explode, and as you can see, I already lost one barricade. Luckily, the stone staff can hold them off for a bit. Okay, so there's 9 minutes left. Halfway done. Get these orcs out of the way. And once I can fill this left-hand side with barricades, it should be a lot easier. So then I'll put some more down to block this area. And some more tar. And wait for the next wave. And I have a couple barricades up here that I really want to sell. I just don't have the time to run up there, because in Rift Lord difficulty, you don't have any time between waves. So unfortunately, I think I lost those two in the amount that they were for. But I still have the ceiling lasers up there, which is good.
Just point and shoot. Ooh, do they have any more of those?
And with the ogres, when you stone them, always aim for their head.
There are enemies in our rift room. For a split second, I thought about maybe possibly getting enemies at the ritter.
And be careful, because even in this version of the game, some of the orcs fly, so you have to make sure they don't fly over the barricades and go into the rift.
Do they have any bigger ones? More
And
enemies
I'll
on
place
the
another
way.
snow cannon up here.
Traps, 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 traps.
And wait for the orcs to come down. really good tactic is just to stone all these orcs when they bunch together like this, and then use a grenade on the blunderbuss. That can really get into them.
That was me that did that thing there.
I'm trying to keep an eye on my mana because it's pretty quick. There are a couple almost got through.
For a split second, I thought about maybe possibly getting a wee bit concerned. Enemies at the rift.
Thankfully, I had enough to buy another barricade for that area.
There are enemies in our rift room. Just like old times. Enemies at the rift.
And at this point, I had to use the mana Rage Trinket for extra mana to refill my supply because they would have gotten through if I wouldn't have.
Good workout.
So it's always handy to have the mana Rage Trinket for mana.
Walking seems hard without legs.
And again, another couple almost got through. So this method, it isn't the best, and I'm sure there are better ones out there. So I'm just showing you what works for me. And it almost didn't. But on to the next wave. Luckily, I got through that one.
More enemies.
Okay, on to the next wave, and I'm going to put some more tar traps and spike traps down because this particular area on this map is not really good for ranged DPS traps. I mean, there's some space up here, but it's pretty much all floor traps. In my War Mage video, I did use archers, but over this last year, I think they did some major changes to them, so they're not as effective. Basically, with each patch, it seems like the developers are making everything less powerful. So, on to this wave. And I'll just continue to try to use a stone staff as soon as they're bunched up. Throw a grenade in there, and that will take care of a lot of them. Keeping an eye out for the fire orcs.
There are enemies in our rift room.
So one almost got through, but luckily I was able to stop him. On to the next wave. 3 minutes left. I'll shore up some of these defenses on this side. They do seem to be getting through pretty well, so I'm going to put some tar traps and spike traps down in the choke point area.
Found a good spot.
Leading up to the rift. This last wave can get pretty hectic.
Enemies at the rift.
And I think they did something to the wind belt too, so originally what I would do is use a wind belt and just push these orcs back into the spinning grinder in the background, but I don't think the range is as good as it was on the stadium. They might have made some changes to that too. But that's also a tactic that I could use. Not sure if I want to waste them yet.
Enemies at the rift. Got the blood pumping.
Almost done. 1 minute.
There are enemies in our rift room. Okay, that was almost there. The barricade is down. Enemies at the rift.
So that should be
They've
it.
destroyed the barricade. Awesome.
And that is my playthrough of Master's Courtyard on more difficulty. Any questions or comments, leave them below. Thanks for watching.